Every sip of white tea holds a secret of sunlight and time, spanning 1,000 years, hidden deep in the mountains of southeast China. This is Fuding Fujian, the birthplace of white tea in the world, tucked in the golden tea growing belt at 27 degrees north latitude, where mountains meet the sea and the climate is mild and misty. This land grows the most extraordinary tea leaves on earth. It is not pan-fried, not rolled, shaped by no fancy techniques. Instead, it is crafted in the simplest way, kissed by the sun and aged patiently by time. Today, we step into these mist-shrouded tea fields to unlock the full story of Fuding white tea, from a single leaf to a timeless legend. The story of Fuding white tea begins with a 1,000-year-old legend from Taimu Mountain.
It is said that in ancient times, a plague broke out in the villages around Taimu Mountain, bringing endless suffering to the local people.
A kind-hearted woman living in the mountains, guided by an immortal, discovered wild tea trees covered in silvery white down.
She picked the tender leaves, boiled them into water, and gave it to the villagers, miraculously curing every single one of them. Later, the Vitification Famu and the life-saving she found was the earliest form of white tea.
This legend has long been engraved in the blood of Fuding people. But it was in the Song dynasty, 1,000 years ago, that white tea truly stepped into the spotlight of Chinese literati. Back then, white tea was already a tribute tea exclusively for the royal family.
What made it truly unforgettable for generations, however, was Su Dongpo, the literary giant of China's Song dynasty, known to the West as the Shakespeare of the East. He was not only a world-famous.
He loved and understood tea all his life. During his exile in Fujian, he visited countless tea mountains and fell in love with the elegant character of white tea at first sight.
He wrote the famous line that has been passed down for centuries. "I write this little poem for you with a smile, has always been like a beautiful lady." In his eyes, the finest tea is like an elegant, refined lady, needing no heavy makeup, with a gentle and positive sentity, the soul of Fuding white tea that has touched hearts for 1,000 years.
Many people say that Fuding white tea is the tea closest to nature, because among China's 6 major tea categories, its production process is the simplest, yet the most demanding.
No complicated procedures, no pan-frying, no rolling. Only 3 core steps lock in the purest, most authentic taste of the tea leaf. The first step, sun withering. Freshly picked tea leaves must be immediately and evenly spread out on bamboo trays, left to dry naturally under the sun. Hein, some Zhenjian Tenfang Kachin. This is the first conversation, Shanhai Shamyong, the tea leaves and sunlight, and the starting point of white tea's flavor. Tea masters strictly control the duration and intensity of the sun exposure. Not too harsh, not too weak. Low with a moat in the gentle sunlight, shedding their grassy green astringency while retaining their freshest, sweetest notes. The gentle sunlight infuses the tea leaves with the foundation of sunshine and makes full preparation for its next transformation.
The second step, and the soul of white tea, natural withering.
After sun withering, the leaves are moved to a well-ventilated, cool withering room for natural withering that lasts more than 72 hours. This is a delicate game with time. There is no artificial intervention.
In the flowing air, the leaves slowly lose moisture, undergoing subtle internal transformations. Tea polyphenols degrade gently, the bitterness fades, while amino acids and aromatic compounds are fully preserved. This is the foundation of white tea's no-fry, no-roll craft, and the core secret to its ability to grow richer and more mellow with age. A truly fine white tea is grown slowly with time, accompanied by the tea mat. 72 hours of natural withering, the tea leaves shed their astringency, precipitate their sweetness, and lay the most beautiful foreshadowing for its lifelong aging. The third step, drying. The withered leaves go through a final drying and setting process, either via low-temperature charcoal roasting or repeated sun-drying. Tea masters use the gentlest method to precisely control the moisture content of the leaves to below 5%. This not only fully locks in the flavor and nutrients of the tea, but also leaves enough room for it to age and transform gracefully over the years to come. From a fresh leaf to a cup of white tea, there is no unnecessary modification, only sunlight, air, time, and the precise sense of proportion passed down by tea masters for generations. And this precise sense of proportion, passed down from generation to generation, is hidden in the lifelong persistence and wisdom of every tea maker in fooding. In fooding, a truly fine tea is never made from a fixed formula. It is crafted by tea masters with their eyes, their hands, and a lifetime of experience. We invited Master Lin, an intangible cultural heritage inheritor of fooding white tea with 42 years of tea-making experience, to share his story with white tea.
Master Lin, everyone says you make tea, guided by the sky, guided by the leaves. What exactly does this saying mean?
This saying is the lifelong rule of us tea makers in fooding. Tea is alive, and nature is alive. There is no one-size-fits-all formula.
The wind direction, the sunlight intensity, the temperature of the day, even the leaves picked in the morning are different from those picked in the afternoon. So the way we make them has to change every single time.
I learned to make tea from my father when I was a teenager. Back then, there were no instruments, no data. We only relied on our eyes, our hands, and our nose. During sun withering, we had to turn the leaves every half hour, to feel if they were soft enough, to smell if the aroma had developed. During withering, we stayed in the tea room all night long, watching the changes of the leaves, adjusting the windows to control the ventilation.
After making tea for my whole life, I've come to understand more and more. We are not making tea. We are just accompanying the leaves, following the laws of nature, and helping them become the best version of themselves.
Man should not fight against nature, but work with it. That's the truth of making tea guided by the sky. If you treat the tea with your heart, the tea will naturally give you the best reward.
No precision instruments, no standardized assembly lines, only experience passed down from generation to generation, and reverence for nature.
This is the most precious artisanal heart of fooding white tea, and this craftsmanship is ultimately precipitated in every cup of tea that has spanned time.
In fooding, there is a century-old saying, 1 year it's tea, 3 years it's medicine, 7 years it's a
The most extraordinary thing about fooding white tea is that it has aging value, just like fine wine. When stored properly, it transforms slowly over the years, developing a unique flavor profile with every passing year.
First up, the current year's new white tea. Look at the dry leaves. The buds and leaves are intact, covered in dense silvery down, like wrapped in a thin layer of frost.
After brewing, the liquor is a clear, light apricot yellow. It smells of fresh orchid fragrance and silky down aroma. On the palate, it is full of bright freshness and sweetness, like biting into a just ripened spring fruit, with vivid breath of the mountains, clean and pure.
Second, white tea aged for 3 years. After 3 years of transformation, its grassy notes have completely faded, the dry leaves have darkened slightly, and the liquor has turned into a warm apricot yellow notes, and the taste is smoother and mellower.
Third, aged white tea stored for 7 years. This is what we call the 7-year treasure. It dry leaves trade, and the litrol it's a dry lefith and yellow, and jeller new nears. On the palate it is soft and smooth, with a warm feeling flows from throat down to your stomach.
Fourth, aged white tea stored for more than 10 years. Its liquor has turned into a deep amber color, with a calm, restrained aroma, where aged notes, medicinal fragrance, and jewed sweetness blend together extremely and rich flavor.
Today, we use these 4 fooding white teas of different vintages to feel the magical changes that time brings to the tea leaves. From fresh to mellow, from green to gentle, a cup of white tea holds the entire story of time.
In China, many families store some aged white tea. When the seasons change, or when they have a cough or sore throat, they boil a pot for its gentle, nourishing properties. This is the life wisdom engraved in the bones of the Chinese people. From fresh to mellow, from green to gentle, a cup of white tea holds the entire story of time.